What's happening, guys? This is Blazing Gaming here and welcome to Awesome Doom Mods, where I will be sharing with you some of my favorite Doom mods that I've played over these many years of playing Doom now. Now for this episode I am going to cover one of my all-time favorite mods, and it's called Cold as Hell. Now this mod is just absolutely amazing, and you will see exactly why this is as we get through the awesomeness that lies ahead of us. Now, one thing I really enjoy about this mod is the setting and storyline, but more about it later. For now, I just want to show you this mod. Now, as soon as you try to start a new game, you will be asked to choose a combat style. Now, each of these styles enable or disable certain options of the game, essentially making it easier or harder. Now, some of these options may not make much sense to you now, but I will explain to you what they mean later on, when they will make more sense. Now, I'm just going to go with realistic for now. As soon as the game starts, we get to see this random quote from C.S. Lewis, who is actually the writer of the Chronicles of Narnia. And we find ourselves in the introductory scene in an airplane. Now, a little bit of background information here. This mod takes place in the mid-50s, and you are a Marine that has fought in Korea and the Pacific. Now, because you've been through so much, they decided to put you onto a more quiet place. More specifically, a remote research facility in Greenland. Now, obviously they couldn't be more wrong about it being a quiet place, of course, but this will become more clear later on, and I don't want to spoil too much about it just yet. Instead, I would like to take a few seconds to talk about this introductory scene here, because it is just really good. You can just see the attention to detail and quality that has been put into this. And when you look outside into the snowy weather, it really makes you feel cold as hell. Now, this is just the tip of the iceberg of the quality that this mod has to offer. Now, it's kind of difficult to hear, but the pilot has been trying to establish a connection with the base on the ground, but it is unsuccessful as his calls are not returned. So he's going to try an emergency landing just right about now. And here we are, crash landed near the base. Now both the pilot and the co-pilot died during the crash. Now, as this is virtually a total conversion, there is a lot of stuff that is different. For starters, the status bar has been replaced by a health bar, and you can also see the amount of bandages you have here, and the bandages are required for stopping bleedings. Yes, you will bleed in this mod. If you take too much damage at once, you will start bleeding, and you will slowly lose health unless you stop the bleeding. In order to stop the bleeding, you have to either pick up some health or stop the bleeding by using one of your bandages. Now this mod starts off pretty slowly and you get to explore the area just a little bit, but once you encounter the first enemies, it will become pretty intense. And you will find yourself surrounded by enemies, starting in the bedroom. Yes, and hello there, beautiful. So the first objective you get is to basically fight your way through the receiving center. Now this is not an easy thing to do, because you're a lot less resilient than the vanilla Doom guy, and you die a lot quicker. Now, the combat in Cold as Hell is a little bit slower than in the vanilla Doom experience, but it's still pretty fast, and you need to move around a lot in order to avoid all the flying projectiles. And additionally, you need to seek cover every now and then in order to heal and fix your wounds. Now as soon as you manage to escape the receiving center, you will enter this area right here. And this area is probably one of the hardest and most hectic parts of this entire mod. Basically you are bombarded with enemies such as Mencubi and Barons of Hell. And your strongest weapon is a shotgun. Now this part is probably the only thing that I hate about this mod, because it can take a while before you have finished off all the enemies with such a weak weapon. Fortunately there are lots of trees to hide behind. Now this mod contains no hitscan enemies, which is kind of fortunate considering how quickly you die. Now, the majority of this mod is based on a hub system, with this part being the central kind of hub, and from here you can enter all the tunnels to the other parts of the base. And this concept is really interesting and really well done. So this opens up for some pretty interesting non-linear gameplay. And this means that you will have some choice in what you want to do first, but you do have a set of objectives for each part of the base, and you have to complete certain objectives in one part of the base in order to finish another part of the base. Now let's take a moment to talk about the weapons, because this mod takes place in the mid-50s. We have an appropriate set of weapons. We get a handgun, a shotgun and the super shotgun, but we're also equipped with a Thompson submachine gun. And for heavier foes we also have the Browning automatic rifle. And to top it off, there is also an M1 Garand available later in the game. Now as I said, there are no hitscan enemies in the game, but most of the Doom enemies are present, if not in a heavy modified form, such as the imps now have several variants and fire different fireballs than in the original game. And there's also an upgraded version of the Baron of Hell and Hell Knight available, firing more powerful projectiles and having more hit points. One of the features of this mod are the tape recorders and notes that are spread throughout the levels that will explain some background information on the story and also will help you in completing your objectives, or sometimes are required in order to continue. Now you should check your controls before you play the game in order to properly cycle through your notes, which is pretty important in this mod. Now the level design of this mod is really good and allows for a lot of exploration, which I personally really enjoy. And also the puzzles are very well designed and pretty fun and really makes you want to continue the game. And the difficulty level of this mod also keeps you on the edge of your seat the entire time, but fortunately it is not the unfair kind of difficulty, except for maybe that one spot that I pointed out earlier. But it does require you to play a little different than your usual Doom mod, because of the bleeding system you have to basically take cover at a certain point before you can fight again in order to fix your wounds. But it is just really hard to pinpoint all the great stuff this mod has to offer in just 10 minutes. But I think it is fair to say that this mod just does everything right. I mean, it is just a unique combination of just the right stuff. I mean, the setting is just very unique and original, and the level design and atmosphere and story are just so great. They really suck you into the game and won't let you go until the very end when you finished it. And the story also really invites you to really explore all the maps, which is just, I think, it's pretty rare to find these days. Now I'd like to conclude this video just by saying that you should really play this mod if you really want a unique experience. Of course, I cannot tell you what to do, because in the end you can do whatever the fuck you want to do, but I really recommend this mod and it definitely gets 5 out of 5 on my awesomeness scale. The download link is in the description of this video, of course, but I do want to point out that before you play you should probably take a quick look at the manual to get yourself acquainted with some of the controls and some other stuff. Anyway, that will be the end of this video. Thank you all for watching and I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a like, comment and subscribe if you want to see more. I am Blazing Gaming and I will see you guys in the next video. Take it easy.